Dunkin' is putting a whole new spin on pumpkin at Dunkin' with our new Pumpkin Cream Cold Brew. Smooth, bold cold brew topped with velvety pumpkin cream cold foam made with cinnamon and nutmeg spices. And there's more pumpkin for you to love, like the delicious fall classic, our Pumpkin Spice Signature Latte. Rich espresso topped with whipped cream, caramel drizzle, and cinnamon sugar. That's how we pumpkin at Dunkin'. Sip into the fall season with the $3 medium Pumpkin Cream Cold Brew or Pumpkin Spice Signature Latte. America runs on Dunkin'. Participation may vary. Limited time offer. Exclusions apply. Valid on Pumpkin Spice Signature Latte only and all cold foam cold brew.
Yay Networks.
What is up, to be honest? Yo, this is your boy Cornelius Lindsay, and here we go again. Before I begin, is it me, or does it feel like we're all in the episode of The Office, and Michael Scott has left, and now Robert California has taken over Dunder Mifflin, and you look at the show and it's just like, it's not the same anymore. You didn't really like Michael, but you really miss him. It's like, what are we living in? What are we living in? My goodness, it's almost like The Office. I mean, The Office is my favorite show in the entire world. I watch that show forever and ever. But it was just never good after Michael Scott left. It was just really never good. I don't care who took over. Even when Andy took over, it was just like, what the heck is this? Almost feels like Andy's in charge now. I don't know. It's just, it's really weird. But nevertheless, we're back, and I am going to be taking some of your questions. So we're going to just jump right into this, man. I'm actually recording this outside right now, so you might hear some birds and stuff in the background, but yeah, we're going to make this thing happen, get it popping. I am traveling right now, so yeah, we're just going to do it how we do it. So let's make this thing happen. So first question I have, oh God, of course you're going to ask me about this. Based upon the recall election, it looks like Governor Newsom is going to win. What are your thoughts? So what they're referring to, there was a GOP-backed a governor recall in the state of California. The state of California is one of the few states where a governor can be recalled if they have a certain number of signatures. They were able to get a certain number of signatures. The reason why I called it a GOP, or the Grand Old Party, or the Republican Party backed, is because there were most Republicans who supported the backing of recalling Governor Newsom, even though there were some independents and Democrats who came in to agree with that as well. Nonetheless, you're listening to this right now, and the election has already happened, and Governor Newsom did win. So it didn't even matter who else was running against him. The way the recall election worked, you had to vote. After you had to vote yes or no. So you had to vote to either recall him or not to recall him. And then if you voted yes to recall him, then whomever the other contenders were, whomever the top contender is in that, you would then vote for them, and then that person would ultimately become governor. But in this case, it didn't even matter who ran against him, because most of the people voted no, that he should not be recalled. So, that's really where we are right now, guys. It's where we are. The election has happened. Governor Newsom, he is still the governor of the state of California. And, it's just one of those things. It has happened. The election has taken place, and we kind of move forward. Now, here's where the line gets really sticky here. And why does it feel like the helicopter is flying right over me at this particular time? Are y'all looking for somebody? Like, what the freak is up with y'all? But nonetheless, this where it gets really sticky, and this comes into play when people start talking about, okay, I hear what you're saying, Cornelius, but the election was stolen. And here's the part where I want to interject some wisdom that I believe we need to employ. Okay. whether or not you believe an election was stolen, if you believe that Donald Trump's election was stolen, whomever, whether or not you believe it, I want you to understand the danger behind those words in many settings, in many circumstances. Okay. What we do when you espouse that type of that type of understanding, I know in your private conversation it's something that you may say, but what happens is that now what we're having is we are degrading the office itself. So we're really getting to that point in America where we don't believe that anybody is going to win fair and square. That if a Republican wins, the Democrats can easily say that the election was stolen. So now we've had many different states to pass what they refer to as election integrity laws, which many of the laws I actually do agree with. I mean, I feel like you should use your driver's license when you go and vote. I mean, when I go get on an airplane, Delta, they ask for my driver's license. Can I see your driver's license? Boom. When I go through TSA, I have to show my driver's license, but I have clear, so I don't have to show my driver's license. I just go up, boom, my stuff is already there, click it, and I'm gone. I'm off. When I go, when I go to several places, I have to show my driver's license. I got a reservation at a restaurant, y'all, here in California. I had a reservation at a restaurant. It was really nice. But they asked to see my driver's license. I was like, bro, who gonna try to steal my who gonna try to steal my spot at the restaurant? I guess they do that. I don't know. But I had to show them my driver's license or show them a form of ID to let them know that I was who I said I was. So I actually voted in the recall election. I voted. When I went to vote, they didn't ask me for my driver's license. I actually had it out. I was reaching to hand it to her. In fact, even when she asked me, when the poll worker asked me, hey, what is your name? And I gave her my name, Cornelius Lindsay, and I gave her my address and everything else. And while I was giving her my address, I just handed her I put my driver's license in front of her and said, pretty much my address is on here. She looked at me. She She said, we don't need that. Put that away. And I was like, oh, okay. So what if I'm not really Cornelius? Do you know that I'm Cornelius? Is this the honor system? Because while I may not be lying, I don't know who else is. And that thought just really crossed my mind. Like, I don't understand it. While I question and while I ask many things, I think what we have to make sure that we're doing as responsible Americans, as responsible people, is that we are still doing the best we can to keep the office itself in high esteem. I hear people, they'll say, well, Joe Biden's not my president. Well, I mean, in actuality, he is. You may not like his politics. You may not even like him as a person, but he's still your president. Because what happened was when Donald Trump became president, a lot of people wouldn't even refer to him as president or even say his name. They would say 45. And now the other side is saying 46. I don't want to refer to him by his name. That's not my president. Donald Trump is my president. Well, that's problematic. It is problematic. Just because you do not like it does not mean that it is not a reality. And living in a false reality is dangerous. And then espousing that type of language to other people can also be just as damaging. President Joe Biden is still the president. Now, here's the thing. I think that I'm one of those kind of people. I'm not an either or type of person. I'm an and type of person. I believe that two things can exist at the same time. I believe that you can oppose a person's policies without attacking their character while still respecting the office the person holds. I respect the office of the presidency. However, I do disagree with much of President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris's policies. I can do them both at the same time. That's just where honor comes in. You may say, well, I don't honor him. I don't respect him. You don't have to. But the office itself, we want to give some type of honor to it, because if we don't honor it, how do we expect for the rest of the world to honor it? Now, in speaking of all those things, I have another question here that is about President Joe Biden. And the question is, do you believe that he will resign? Well, here is my honest answer. In listening to a great deal of his speeches here lately, I am concerned as to his cognitive ability. I am concerned. I'm concerned on who is speaking for him, and or who is crafting the message for him, and if he has the cognitive ability to govern. And this is simply based on what I have seen in many of his speeches. And if you have not seen it, I would encourage you to just go YouTube. You can YouTube Joe Biden speeches, and I'm quite sure they're all going to populate and pop up. You can probably even hashtag Joe Biden speeches on Instagram and Twitter, and you're going to probably find a lot of them. Now, I have friends who are Democrats, and I have friends who are Republicans. I have friends who are independents, and they all say the same thing. They're like, I don't know if this man can keep doing this. I'm concerned as to his cognitive ability. I'm not a long way off from saying that this right here is becoming elder abuse. I'm like, who doing this? Who moving the strings? You know, who got my mans out here like this, yo? Who got my mans out here? I'm concerned. That's all I'm saying. I'm concerned. So do I believe that he is going to resign? I think that, giving his cognitive ability, I'm not his doctor. I have not seen him up close. I don't know to his cognitive nature up close. I don't know if he is fully aware. Sometimes like he's not. He just kind of wanders off sometimes. Like we don't really know what's going on. And then sometimes when he says things like, they told me not to talk, or they told me I can't talk, I'm like, I don't know, because now I'm really asking myself the question, who is they? And who gonna tell the leader of the free world not to talk? I know if you told me not to talk, I'm like, you work for me. I don't work for you. You don't tell me what to do. Like, at this point, I don't want a president who has handlers, is what I'm saying. I don't want a president who has handlers. I want a president who can stand for himself and say, boom, this is what it is. It's how I feel. This is what this is. I'm going to answer your questions, answer this. And I'm not saying answer everything, but I am saying that I want a president who is actually in charge. And I'm concerned as to his cognitive health. So with that being said, it may be in the best interest for President Joe Biden to retire or to resign if that is the case. Now, the next thing comes up, then you'll have President Kamala Harris. And so, here's the thing. Even when VP Harris, when she ran for president, she was not extremely popular. And I think many people were able to kind of see through the bullcrap because you really didn't know who she was, I think that she is probably an avid campaigner, giving the fact that she was an attorney. I believe that she could find a way to kind of get her words right. Even though I think that whomever is doing PR for her, whomever is doing her image, whatever it is, I hope she fires them immediately because they're just not doing her right. I don't feel like they're doing even the places where she's going to, the timing of the places she's going to, the laughs that she gives and all those different things during meetings or doing interviews and stuff like that. It's just like somebody has to be around her to say, no, baby, we can't keep doing this. We can't keep doing this. But given even here recently in the past couple of days, I've seen that President Joe Biden's approval ratings have dipped down into the 30s. Many people are saying that his presidency is just Jimmy Carter 2.0. Given that, if it continues to go like this, it's going to be like Jimmy Carter 8.0. You even highlight, and I want to kind of skip down. So the fifth question right here is talking about Afghanistan and my thoughts on Afghanistan. Listen, what has happened right now, or what is happening right now in Afghanistan, I think is a huge problem. I do not think that this is progressive. Again, I'm not an either or person. I'm an and person. I believe that we can be both equally excited that this 20-year war in Afghanistan is ultimately over. The only thing that I question is, so we spent 20 years over there for what? We had brave men and women, some young, some older, who went over and risked and gave their lives in Afghanistan for 20 years. And I have friends who personally went and served in Afghanistan, stayed there for years. And so the question that I ask is, what did we give? What was the accomplishment? What did we ultimately what did we ultimately walk away with? Did we walk away with anything that was substantial? Did we walk away with anything that we could really put our foot down and say, man, we had blah? I don't see that, y'all. I don't see that. And so yeah, I'm really concerned. I'm concerned that there are billions of dollars worth of American equipment. Now, here's the thing. This is brand new equipment. When President Trump, I want you to remember President Trump as president, what was one of his mottos? It was America first. And one of the things that he wanted to build back is he wanted to build back up our military. Remember, he talked about that when he was just a potential candidate. Ultimately, when he got the Republican nomination, he hit that strong. He said, we have to build back up the military. Remember that? The whole speech, we build back up the military. We want to build back up, build up veteran affairs with the VA and blah, blah, blah. So he was talking about building back up the military. So one of his objectives was to build back up the military. So we needed more tanks. We needed better jets. We need better guns. We need all these things. So with all the production of all of these new guns, new tanks, new everything, now they're just kind of left in Afghanistan. And so billions of dollars worth of equipment, taxpayer dollars that are just kind of left there, put into the hands of the enemy. Now, in my opinion, I feel like you can equate it to if I'm sitting down in a house and I say, I'm buying up all these guns. And I'm keeping my neighbors from coming in and getting them. So I'm buying all this equipment so my neighbors won't pretty much take me over, okay? And just so I can protect myself. And then the neighbors say, hey, I'm going to come over and take over. So the neighbors come over and I say, okay, I'm going to leave. When I leave, I'm not leaving my guns, because then that gives my neighbors ammunition to be able to hurt me if I were to ever try to come back to my place of occupation. I look at that and I'm thinking to myself, like, so our Pentagon, our military I don't get it. Did we not think, hey, we should probably take some of this stuff back with us, or, at least let's just kind of take it to a country that, we can all do some relations with. Like, let's take it to UAE, maybe. Let's just dump it in Dubai, or, let's take it and put it in Saudi Arabia. I'm not saying it was necessarily the best place, but let's take it somewhere else. So it's not just sitting in Afghanistan. But now the Taliban is now in control. And now I think the other frustrating thing is that it gets extremely frustrating when we hear people saying, well, we want the Taliban to be moderate in their rule, which means that we want the Taliban to make sure that they put women in charge of government, and women can have this and women can have that, which, granted, yes. But are we missing the entire thing here, that the Taliban is now in charge of Afghanistan? And do we just settle in this? Do we just settle here? Is this a place where we just kind of settle in? And here's the other thing: who's responsible? Like, is there anybody who's going to take responsibility for what's happened? Is there anybody who's going to take responsibilities? Anybody who's going to take responsibility for the deaths that happened? That happened in Afghanistan? Is there anybody going to take responsibility for it? And those are real questions that we have to get answered the same way. Who's going to take responsibility for the deaths that happened in Benghazi? Who's going to take responsibility for that? Come on. Who's going to take responsibility for it? Like, this is a serious question. Who's going to take responsibility for it? So we really have to ask, we really have to ask and answer those questions. Who's going to take responsibility? Because really nobody's taking responsibility. President Joe Biden, he says in his own words, he said, I bear no responsibility. Well, who the heck does? You're the president of the freaking United States of America. Who's going to take responsibility? I guarantee you, I don't care what your feelings are towards former President Trump. I don't care what your feelings are towards him. I guarantee you, if Donald Trump was president right now, they would impeach him again. They would impeach him again. Now, let's go back. Even talking about vaccines, okay? Let's talk about vaccines for just a moment. Going back, when President Trump, when Donald Trump was president, Donald Trump came out and said, "Hey, we've been talking. We have the vaccines. The vaccines work. We're going to get everybody jabbed. You know, we're going to do it. Blah blah blah." The word from the Democratic Party was, "We will not trust it. We will not comply. I will not trust anything that comes from Donald Trump. I do not trust it. 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 I won't comply." I mean, you look at people like Joy Reid, who's on MSNBC. Look at her past tweets. She said, "I'm not going to support and I'm not going to take a vaccine that is supported by President Donald Trump. I'm not going to support." I mean, you look at many other liberal pundits and many other people in the Democratic Party who were objecting, who were questioning the validity of the vaccine because Donald Trump was president. And now we have pretty much the same. We have the same CDC, the same companies, Moderna, Johnson and Johnson, the same companies who were in charge with the vaccine rollout with President Trump are the same companies who's in charge now. The only thing that changed was the president. So now we have to mandate it. And now it's like, now it's something that, you know, why should you question it? Well, let's keep the same energy. I mean, can we not question the validity of something if we don't believe it, the same way that many other liberal pundits question the validity of it? Are we not entitled to that same right? Are people not entitled to that same right, to that same right? There are many people who said, "I will not take the vaccine," not because of any other thing, only because they didn't trust President Trump. And now you have the same thing, but on the other side. But if you notice, the people who are in power, the people who are in rule, they have the power to mandate. They have the power to authorize and mandate what will happen and what won't happen. And then to ultimately put as much pressure on people to conform to their rule of thumb. Again, I am not an either or type person. I'm more of an and. I believe that somebody could be pro-vaccine but anti-mandate. We have freedom, and the freedom that we have should give us the liberty to begin to make choices for what we choose to do, especially with our body. If a woman is given the choice of whether or not she wants to terminate a life in her womb, then a man or a woman or a child should be given a right of whether or not they want to inject themselves with anything. And here's the thing. I don't know how much of what we can trust. I mean, it's like, you know, the government, when you look at public schools are failing in many areas, especially, you know, high risk, high minority areas. Public schools are failing. These are things, these are government sponsored, government ran, a government curriculum based schools. And you look at the FDA. I want you to just go out and Google the countries that are the foods and the additives and everything else in our food that is approved here in America, but is not approved in other countries around the world. So while we as Americans, we can always say, "Oh, you live in a third world country," they could be eating better than we are, because we have people around here who eat ho-hos and yo-yos and donuts, and they're like, "Well, we don't even bring that stuff into our country because we know it's killing our people, and we don't want to just kill our people." We look and we say, "Well, we want to be in America where we need health care." Well, we probably need as much health care as we need because, I hate to say this, but being sick. That's y'all, sickness is wealth for people. They're going to make more money keeping us sick than they are going to have us than to have us healthy. I mean, you look at the world today, it's like, shoot, I mean, they want us to be sick. Why? Pharmaceutical industry, they want us to be sick. Why? So they can continue to pour in more money into the pharmaceutical industry, to going after pills. And I mean, look at most of the commercials nowadays. They have a pill for everything. They got a pill. They got a pill to work out, the lungs. They got a pill for your blood. They got a pill for this. Now you got a pill to keep your dick hard. I mean, it's like pills. And it's just like, but what about the foods that we're eating? What about this? What about that? I was driving down the street the other day, and I legit saw something. I saw a sign that said lose weight. And then this is what it said. It said no diet, no exercise. It was no diet, no exercise, and no something else. It's like, all you have to do is just take this pill. And I thought, if this ain't the Matrix, I'm like, what in the haberdashery in 1984 is this? So you don't have to diet. You don't have to exercise. Heck, you ain't got to do nothing. All you got to do is take a pill. And I'm wondering, what is that pill doing to you long term? Because nothing inside of you changed. Nothing inside of you changed. None of your eating habits changed. So you're still eating crap. You're still eating crap. And then what? You eat crap, and then, like, you know, I guess you start losing some weight, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I go back to my main point. I feel like I'm stuck in an episode of The Office, and Robert California is currently the leader of Dunder Mifflin. Or Sabre. Yeah, we just got transferred. So now we're not even Dunder Mifflin anymore. We're Sabre. And I'm just waiting for Michael to come back. Or someone. I don't know, guys. But I will say this. If you are a believer, and what I mean by that is, if Jesus Christ is your Lord and your Savior, I will tell you this. An eternal perspective will never bow the knee at temporary circumstances. What that means is that because we believe in the only living and true Savior, we can always have the hope for tomorrow, that this is not our tomorrow. That no matter what happens, whether we like it or we don't, whether we agree or we disagree, our responsibility as believers is one thing. It is not to debate. It is not to provide argument. It is not to agree or to disagree. Our responsibility as believers is singular. It is to love, to be charitable, and to make sure that we share the only good news that people need today. And today, with depression on the rise, with suicide all around us, we need more than anything, for the believers to stand up and to share the good news. If we don't be the light in the dark, who will be? This is Cornelius Lindsay. I appreciate you joining me for today's episode, To Be Honest. Make sure you share it with your friends, and also make sure you subscribe. God bless you all. Bye.
In the fight against COVID-19, testing offers another layer of protection in addition to vaccines. Go to vdh.virginia.gov and search by zip code to find a free COVID-19 test near you. A message from your Virginia Department of Health.
Life gets more magical when you dream. So dream of a Disney cruise filled with magic and wonder.
Hiya, pal!
Sail from Florida to Disney's private island paradise and get ready for a dream come true with Disney Cruise Line.